people were warmed up to that idea. They were like, oh yeah, to accomplish all these things, let's deport all the illegals, okay, that are here illegally. Okay, but now it's a little different. Now it's not so much like, now people are having buyer's remorse. Okay, it's like, oh, maybe this ICE thing, maybe it's not so good. Maybe they just killed an innocent white woman in broad daylight. Maybe this isn't so good. And you guys are like, oh, no, you don't get it. She was woke. She deserved it. She deserved it, bro. And it's not gonna work, man. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, it's not gonna work. You need to change your rhetoric here. Moving on to, I've been watching a lot of Jimmy. I can't watch Intel, bro. I can't watch Team Deathmatch Intel again. Okay, I'd rather watch fucking, what was this, Warhammer?
After the ICE shooting in Minneapolis. Yeah, and what have we gotten in this past few days? We get protests all around the country. We get Chaz 2.0, where all these fucking idiots are running around beating drums, doing dance lines, and just looking retarded. We get video evidence from like...
Yeah, how dare they mourn? How dare they mourn for an innocent mother of three that was cut down for no reason? Because a fucking cop was feeling gung-ho that day and decided to fucking blast her in the head for no reason.
30 different angles of the shooting, including from the guy who shot the woman. And everybody has a different take. I've seen one side of the aisle say it's completely vindicated, it was 100% self-defense, and then I see news articles and another side of the aisle saying, see, she was turning her wheels, and she didn't mean to hit him, and that doesn't justify him shooting.
No,
it's like,
no, it's not that she didn't mean to hit him. She didn't hit him at all. Okay, he said he went to the hospital. Bullshit. That's fucking bullshit, dude. Watch the fucking video. That guy didn't get hurt. Are you kidding me? After the car brutally hit him and broke all of his bones, all the bones in his body, he proceeded to jog alongside the vehicle as it was rolling. Because he just shot her. And she was dead. But the car kept moving. And somehow, despite the fact that the car had no operator, no alive operator, okay, the operator of the vehicle was deceased because of the cop that murdered her, he still didn't get hit. He still didn't get hit by the car. Wow. Wow, that's so crazy. It's almost like it's because she turned her fucking wheels so that she didn't hit him.
One thing's for certain is that a majority of the people that are protesting, that are saying her name, and they are trying to get justice for her death, they don't actually give a shit about her. They don't actually care. And it's mainly because she's a white woman. You know, the only reason they're doing this much for her is because she died from an ICE agent. That's it. It is an opportunity for these people to push what they believe in, which is their battle. It is their war on ICE to protect immigrants.
Yeah, it is because she's a white woman, because it's weird. It's weird. Okay, look, I know it's fucked up to, like, say this, and, like, you know, I call it out, okay? I do. I call out, like, the over-policing of black communities. But this is just a normal thing when it happens to black people. Okay, it is. It is, unfortunately. Unfortunately. So when it happens to a white person, it's weird. It's weird. People are like, huh, like, wait, it's not supposed to be like this. Wait, an innocent white person was murdered? Huh? You know, and so, like, my point is when it's a white person, yeah, you get a lot of heads turning. Okay, of course you do. And leftists are capitalizing on this. Of course we are. What ICE is doing is evil to all people. It's evil no matter who they're doing it to, not just white people, but they did it to a white person, and now people are paying attention. Okay, and I think that's great. I think that's great. But also, it's not enough. It's not enough. Like I was saying earlier, people are falling asleep at the wheel. People just aren't, like, calling this out enough. Like, this woman got murdered in the street, in broad daylight. We want justice. The Democrats are completely silent. They're completely silent about this. I haven't heard anything from any of them. They're all just like, oh well, you know, or they'll be like, well, this happens to black people all the time. Well, yeah, it does. They should go to jail for that too. Okay, put this motherfucker in jail. Put Jonathan Ross in jail. Put him in jail. Put him under the jail. I don't care. But, like, don't let him walk around. Don't let him keep doing his job. What the fuck? He murdered someone.
Families. And it's kind of crazy because this nation just does not enforce laws. It doesn't enforce laws in so many different ways. First things first, we can't keep people out of the country, so people can just come here illegally, and that's fine. Second thing is we can't kick them out. It is at a point now.
That's not true. That's not true. A majority of illegals, they come here legally. Okay, so like, you are making a point here that we can't secure our border or whatever, but that's not how we get illegals. Okay, like you're saying that the problem is we have all these illegals. Okay, and what I'm saying is that we don't have all these illegals because they snuck into the country. You know, no, ever, never. That's hardly ever the case. Never at all, actually. Okay, it is such a small percentage of these illegal immigrants that come here that they get smuggled in. Okay, it just doesn't happen. But anyway, what else did you say after that? Or you said something else.
First, we can't keep people out of the country, so people can just come here illegally, and that's fine. Second thing is we can't kick them out. It is at a point now to where we
can't kick them out. Okay. So Obama kicked out a lot of them, and by kick them out, what you really mean is black bag them, disappear them to a concentration camp. Okay. I want to make sure that we're clear about this. That is what is happening. They're not deporting them. They are sending them to prison. They're sending them to prison overseas. They're putting them in camps in Florida. It's fucked up. It's really fucked up. It's got to stop.
We literally cannot kick them out. And you want to know why? It's not because of black people, and it's not because of Mexicans, and it's not because of Indians, and it's not because of Jews. The reason why we can't kick out all the illegals the way we should be doing it, the reason why it's not happening, is because of white women.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. It's white women. It's white women that overwhelmingly vote Republican every election, including the last one. Like, look, white women, they are a very important voting bloc. Okay, if you get enough white women to vote Democrat, that usually means that the Dems are gonna like stomp that election cycle. Okay, that's typically how it goes. Or it's how it's been the last couple decades, at least, as far as I know. So, I'm not saying that the like Democratic, the white woman vote isn't important, okay, to sway a lot of them. It is. It's just that they don't overwhelmingly vote Democrat. They don't overwhelmingly vote. It's actually the opposite of that, most elections. Okay, it's the opposite. Most white women vote Republican. Most white men vote Republican at an even higher rate, actually, than white women, which is, probably in line with what you're saying here. You think, but like this is just the reality, bro. Okay, this is it. Okay, white women, they be voting Democrat a little bit more some elections, and that usually means that the Dems are gonna like win. They're gonna win hardcore style. Okay, anyway.
Any part of it is being like a white woman that I'm privileged and I have that privilege. So I feel like white tears are not always something that's helpful or necessary.
What we're going to right now, we are going to what's called a vigil. Do you know what a vigil is? What? So it's where you like hold candles and you sing and you pray and you think about someone who died. Yesterday, a woman named Renee Good, she was killed by one of those ICE guys. Remember how we talked about the ICE police officers? Not the regular police, the ICE police. Oh. They killed this
Yeah, I mean, look, talking to kids about politics when they're this young, that's kind of strange. Okay, that's kind of strange. At the same time, we live in a society that is really strange, okay? And kids, they need to be aware of how weird it is and how much different it is now than when we were kids, okay? When I was a kid, this shit would be insanity. This shit, the country would be on fire over this shit, okay? It's been a slow burn, okay, to get to this point. Because back then, if you tried this shit, people would be rioting. White people would be rioting. Okay, this is crazy. This is crazy. So anyway, it's like I tell leftists all the time. Indoctrinate the children in your family. Yeah, do it. Do it. I'm serious. Propagandize them. Let them know what is happening. What is going on. Now, you can do this with the kids in your family. But it's careful You need to be careful not to like propagandize other people's children. Okay, that is a very, very bad. That is very wrong, and not on principle, because I think that everybody should be a leftist and everybody should be propagandized in that direction. But you know, it's a problem because of the way other people see it. Okay, they don't want their kids to have the woke mind virus. Okay, and if you try to do that to their kids, then they'll probably like snap and kill you or something. I don't know what the fuck will happen, but that's why I don't do it. Okay, I don't want to have to defend myself against some rabid Republicans. That sounds pretty bad. So, yeah. Anyway, let's keep going.
These ICE officers are just trying to take all of the immigrants. Remember we talked about that, like the people Daddy helps? What are immigrants? I don't know. So they're the people that come from other countries and then they live here. And a lot of times they have different accents or they speak other languages, right?
It is because, as a nation, we are so cucks and we're just all a bunch of fucking pussies to where we don't want to upset women. Not Jewish women, not black women, not Mexican women, not Indian women, white liberal women. The type of white liberal woman like this chick who died in her car, who thought that it was more righteous of her to go and obstruct ICE agents from doing their job and enforce—
That's not what she was doing. She was trying to turn around. Thomas, she was trying to turn around. Okay? She's trying to turn her car around. It is very obvious in the video that she wasn't blocking traffic. She was trying to do a 3-point turn, which is normal, which is a normal thing to do. It's not like blocking traffic to do that. That's not what it is. She waved cars to go past her because she wasn't blocking traffic, because she was trying to keep traffic moving, because she wasn't blocking it, because she was trying to do a 3-point turn.
Enforcing the law.
That's what she
and
was
they all believe
obviously
that her paying
doing.
with her life to do so makes her some kind of saint, turns her into some kind of hero, when in reality she's just dead. And all this is going to do
Yeah, no, man. It doesn't make her a hero. She is a victim. She is a weird victim because of the circumstances around her death and because of her identity. Okay, she is a white woman. She is a white woman that was very obviously murdered unjustifiably by police. That is what happened. That is not something that happens. That is not something that happened. This is strange. Okay, this is weird. This is why it's such a big thing. Okay, it's such a big thing and people are talking about it all the time. That's why. It's because of her identity, and it's because of the blatant injustice of this murder. And it's because of the sick and disgusting rhetoric that's coming from this administration, that is coming from right-wing commentators that are trying to paint her as a radical terrorist because she fucking did poetry, like slam poetry. She was like a woke, Tumblr wine mom. Okay, and like it's not working. Okay, that's not gonna work on people. It's not. She was a white woman that was murdered unjustifiably in broad daylight. And there are multiple angles of it happening. There are multiple recordings of it. So anyway.
Create more division. This isn't unifying anybody. And the people who are protesting, they know that. They don't care about that. And the line for unity was crossed like a long time ago. That's not an option anymore.
Is it possible, you think, to maybe like care about an individual's life and also recognize the political tool that the events which transpired are? Okay, like what I'm saying is, Renee Good was murdered by police, and I feel sympathy for her and for her family. What happened to her was evil. It was terrible. Whoever did it needs to be brought to justice. Jonathan Ross should go to prison for killing her. Okay, at the same time, her death is a political tool that leftists are at a position to use, and I recognize that. I understand that. Okay, because of her identity and because of how obviously unjustified it was, this is certainly political leverage that leftists can use. Okay, that doesn't cheapen her life or her death at all. Okay, she's still a victim. It's still evil what happened to her. There are countless numbers of victims that are nameless, okay, that don't get talked about on the news because of their identity. But But anyway, Renee Good is one of them, and I feel bad for her and her family. What happened to her was terrible. Okay, but anyway, my point is, you can do both. Okay, you can do both.
The type of peaceful solution there is to any of this isn't a peaceful solution at all. It's peaceful from the viewpoint of society not completely collapsing, but it's still going to be violent. You know, it's still going to be some level of violence, some level of blood, because this just can't go on. What we have in this country...
It already is. It already is. What the fuck do you mean? Like I was saying earlier, that Minneapolis looks like the West Bank. Okay, it does. It does. There's already violence in the streets. There's already, you're seeing it. It's happening. Okay, civil war is happening. Okay, nothing ever happens, guys. All right, it's happening. Here we go. This is what civil war looks like. That we are already in a civil war. I've been saying this for months. I've been saying this. We got the civil war started with the election. Okay, that's what happened. I mean, there isn't really any singular event that started it, right? It's been a long time coming. Okay, there's been a lot of lead up to this civil war. And it's not going to look like the Civil War from the 19th century. Okay, for anybody that doesn't know, this country already had a civil war. It was because of slavery. It was because of chattel slavery. Okay, that's why the first Civil War started. But that one was very like, it was like two armies versus one another. Okay, you had the South, the Southern Army, you had the Northern Army. Okay, they fought each other. Okay, this is different. You're gonna see, more like skirmishes, more like individual militias, right? Not as much like unified military action. Okay, you're not gonna see that. You're gonna see more like people versus police, and you're gonna see people versus each other, but you're not gonna see a lot of uniforms versus one another. Okay, you're not gonna see that. So it's like a two-front war, okay? It's us versus the police, who are brutalizing us actively, and it's us versus each other. Okay, that's what this war is. That's what this war is about. And I want it to stop. I want to see an end to the bloodshed before it gets worse. Okay, but I think what Tom Foe is starting to encroach on in this video, it comes from a place of truth. Okay, because I think shit is going to get worse. Okay, and that's part of the reason I wanted to react to this video. Okay, I do think shit is going to get worse. But it's just like, whose side do you want to be on when this shit is going down? Do you want to be on the racism side? Okay, the Nazi side? Or do you want to be on the liberal, let live and let live side? Okay, which one?
Is disorder on the highest level. We have people that won't enforce the laws because they're afraid of offending white women. They're afraid of offending women in general. Feminism has completely grabbed this nation by the balls and chopped them off. America as a nation has no fucking nuts left.
Penis crusher.
We can go all around the world and we can do insane levels of shit.
But
when it comes to actually cleaning house at home, when it comes to actually enforcing our own laws, which by the way, half of the country actually wants us to do. They want our government to enforce the laws. But all these different governors, police officers, all these different people, and even citizens, they say no. They get mad. They get offended.
So I think that life in America is very emasculating. I agree with that. It's just not because of women. It's just not because of women. It's because of work. It's because of work, and it's because of money. Okay, material conditions. Being impoverished, living in abject poverty, experiencing food insecurity. These are emasculating events that people go through. Common people go through. Okay, this is what emasculates men in society more than anything else. Okay, it's being a loser, it's not having a job, it's yada yada. Okay, blah blah blah. Like, being on the bottom of the societal totem pole. And average people, increasingly, are being made to feel like they are on the bottom of this totem pole, and that's because they are. Because wealth has... the disparity between the richest group and the poorest group has grown to astronomical levels. Okay, average people have nothing. In fact, most of them have less than nothing. They're in debt. Okay, sound familiar? Okay, So most people have less than nothing, and rich people have extravagance. They have 7 yachts, 12 yachts, 26 yachts. Okay, they have as many yachts as they can fit in their private harbor. Okay, that's it. That's it, man. So like, this is where we're at. This is where we're at. This is what's emasculating. It's not women stepping on your penis with their high heels, you dumb fuck. It is material conditions.
Because it's illegal.
That's it.
Because it's this. Because it's that.
Yeah, yeah, it's because of that. Yeah,
whatever.
bro.
It doesn't matter. This is an ideological war. It's not just a racial thing. There's more to that. It's not just propaganda. There is more than that. There are people that have bought into this to such a degree that they are willing to literally die so they can protect the lives of people who do not give a fucking shit about them. You think any of the Somalis that Renee Good would have protested to keep in this country, you think any of those people would have done the same for her? You think any of those immigrants would have taken a bullet to the head for her so she could live somewhere? No. And this idea that there isn't a problem with certain groups of white people, it's completely delusional. One of the biggest threats you as a white American...
Somalis hate us. They don't care about it. They would not sacrifice anything for America. They would not. They would never do that.
Who have a fetish for racial suicide, who literally hate themselves and hate their own groups and hate their own race. And no, I'm not talking about Jews. A lot of people like to bring that up and they say, oh, well, it's because they're brainwashed. Oh, it's because it's propaganda. Oh, it's because of this. It doesn't change the fact that you have like half of the country that is still willing to do violent things and obstruct the law and act like complete retarded idiots. It doesn't change the fact that if they had to, they would take your life. They're calling for...
She wasn't obstructing the law. They falsely identified her as a person that was trying to block traffic. And that was not the case. That is obviously not what she was doing. Okay? And, you know, you can say that I'm, like, taking the ICE officers in good faith and, like, oh, why are you doing that? They are Nazis. You called them Nazis. But, like, I don't know, man. Maybe they did think she was blocking traffic. But it doesn't change that they were wrong. Okay? They were wrong if they did that. They were incorrect. Which makes it an illegal detainment. Okay? Which means that she was technically within her right to flee. Okay, like it's a legal gray area, but if you are unlawfully detained, okay, it's kind of like technically you can escape and you aren't committing any crimes, but you'll probably be charged for it if caught, like if they catch you after the fact, and then you'll have to defend yourself in court. Like you'll have to say like I ran away because they unlawfully detained me, and then you have to prove that. Okay, so it's a whole thing. I believe there have been some cases, but I'm not a lawyer. I don't know the case studies. Okay, I don't know. You can look into it if you're interested. But anyway, either way, she didn't deserve to get fucking shot. Okay, even if she was trying to flee the scene, they shot her. She wasn't even trying to do that. She wasn't even trying to run away, I don't think. Or maybe she was. But, like, it doesn't fucking matter. Okay, you can't shoot someone for doing that. You can't. You can't. That is beyond fucked up. That is like, so criminal. That's like something... Like, that's exactly what a savage thug would do. They would murder. Without even thinking about it. Like, that guy just shot her, and then he walked off like it didn't matter. He just ended that woman's life and then fled the scene. Which is, by the way, you're not supposed to do that either. Okay, that is not what you're supposed to do. Oh, but he was going to the hospital. He was going, yeah, he had such severe injuries from that event. Yeah, bro. Yeah, for sure.
For people to get guns, go out into the streets and
she
shoot
hit him. She hit him.
We have to show up with guns. We have to. There's no other way around it. I don't care if I don't have a Minnesota carry permit. I'm unarmed right now, but this is the last time I show up to face these guys without a weapon. The time for peace is over. They fired the first shot. It is time to end this shit by any means necessary.
You're talking about, potentially going to a dark place in this country. Do you foresee that?
We're there. This is the dark place. This is the dark time.
I agree with him. People be like, oh, you guys are escalating. You guys are talking about defending yourselves from the secret police that are kidnapping random innocent people and disappearing them. Yeah, we are. That's what they're doing. Like, we're talking about people who are of the party of the Don't Tread on Me party. Okay, the big government better not. They can just come and try and take my gun, brother. Okay, and like now they're like, I can't believe you would do this. I can't believe you would talk about standing up to tyranny. Like, if this isn't real tyranny, bro, what is? What is? What the fuck are we talking about? Oh, man.
To Salvadorian concentration camps. We got other countries being raided for their oil. We're in the dark time. There's no way out of this.
He's a little... He said he's a little tarded, for sure. I disagree. This person seems pretty articulate, actually. He seems like you know, frustrated, angry, emotional. Sure, this is a very emotional setting. But I think he's speaking coherently and accurately. Yeah. Like when you assassinate someone in broad daylight, and then they run it on the news for several days, and all of the commentators are like, "This is totally justified. Look at this this murder of a random person that did nothing wrong. She was a terrorist. This is completely justified." When people see stuff like that, when they see the media doing that, they're like, okay, this is going to happen to me. This is going to happen to me. I'm going to get murdered, and then nobody's going to care. I'm going to get murdered, and they're going to call me a terrorist. Okay, that's what libs are looking at, and that's what they're seeing, and that's what they're feeling.
We're finding our way out of this. We can't wait till November. There's no waiting to the ballot box. We need to get to the bullet box.
And what is the response from the government? Oh, we're going to send 1,000 National Guardsmen to Minneapolis? Like, that's going to help? There's tens of thousands of people rioting in the streets. And what's the National Guard going to do? I would hope they actually do something. And that's kind of like all anybody's looking for at this point, is just enforce the law. Enforce some level of the law. And if there's going to be states, if there's going to be cities that refuse to cooperate, that refuse to get rid of the illegals that are here, whether it's in their cities, their states, what have you, if they're going to defend those people, then fuck it. Don't send anybody in. Box them in. Cut them off. You know, Trump and them, they came out, they said we're cutting off SNAP benefits to Minnesota and all these different things. That's actually a good idea. That's a good strategy. If these people want to fucking riot and burn their own cities down, and if they want to protect non-American citizens, even with their own lives, and obstruct people from actually enforcing the laws of this nation, just so you understand, a nation that does not enforce its own laws is not a nation. This is not a functioning society. We are a zero-trust society. That's not something an average person would have said 20 years ago. Somebody's going to say, oh no, I totally would have said that 20. I'm not talking about you, genius. I'm talking about the average American. The average American 20, 30 years ago would not have said this was a zero-trust society. They would have had some hope. There is none. We have no unity. We have no brotherhood. There is no patriotism. The only thing we have is borders and laws. Can we enforce that? Oh, but they shut the border down. They stop people from coming in, but we have people that are here. And look, the ICE agents, they're under a lot of pressure. I get it. They don't have enough manpower. I get it.
Not really. Trump has kind of expanded on it, actually, as far as, like, importing labor. Yeah. Yeah, no, they haven't... Like, I know he keeps saying, like, we shut down the border, we shut down the border. Like, well, not really. No, you didn't. You just, you know, you expanded on ICE, the organization. They have a lot more funding now. They can, like, publicly kill people, get away with it, no repercussions. You know, there's all that, but like, as far as actually getting the brown people out of the country, it's been a spectacular failure. We know.
We don't even have enough training, to be quite honest, because it's probably a lot of fucking bullshit they have to put up with, obviously. So I get it. It's an uphill battle. But dude, there's got to be some better way of doing all this. There's got to be some better way of enforcing these laws, of doing these things. And at the first sight of resistance from people who are just retarded as hell, who are going to obstruct you from actually performing those duties, you're just going to run away, you're just going to hide. And this honestly falls on Trump entirely. This falls on this administration entirely, and I'll tell you why. It's because the execution of all these things has been so bad. And I understand it's an uphill battle. I get it. I get there's a lot to it. But it doesn't change the fact that the execution is bad. It doesn't change the fact that this has been done in a way to where people feel emboldened and they feel safe. They feel safe enough. Really. They might not say that, but they do. They feel safe enough to where they can go out and they can obstruct people.
What?
They can
What? No, we don't feel safe. You think people feel safe doing that? Oh, yeah, let me just go and fucking yell at these ICE agents and tell them how much I think they are Nazis, because they are. And like...
HYGVT Kutka just followed.
Thank you for the follow, HYG... whatever. What the hell? Oh, that's pretty crazy. That's pretty... Bro, first of all, you broke my text-to-speech, and also, look at this message, bro. I was getting tons of those kinds of... I had to turn off text-to-speech last night during the 24-hour stream, because I kept getting, like, long-ass messages like that. It was terrible. It was terrible. And it breaks my text-to-speech. Like, it's not that it reads it, and it's like, annoying. It's that it fucking breaks my text-to-speech. And then I have to restart it. I might have to turn on, like, I don't know. Maybe there's something I can do on Kick for, like, follower-only chat or something. Anyway, what were we talking about? I got distracted.
Enough. Really. They might not say that, but they do. They feel safe enough to where they can go out.
Yeah, they feel safe. Yeah, people feel so safe against ICE. Yeah, they feel so safe. That's exactly why they're doing all of this. They're doing all the protesting because of how safe they feel. Because they feel so safe in their homes. Yeah, that's why they're actively going out and protesting. Like, no man. The reason people are protesting is because they don't feel safe, because they feel insecure in their own homes. Okay, the police state is invading all of our lives at once. Okay, they are surveilling us. They are watching us. You're not safe anywhere anymore. Okay, well, welcome to the USSR, baby. Welcome to the... Yo, Stalin, welcome back. Welcome back. Yo, Trump is really like the... He's really like the American embodiment of Stalin. Think about it. He's stupid. He's brash. He fucking terrorizes his political dissent overtly, and then, you know, tries to, you know, like either says nothing or like tries to justify it in the dumbest way possible. That's a classic Stalin. It's classic Stalin, bro. Okay. Anyway,
and they can obstruct people, and they can ram their cars into ICE agents, and they can jump on things. Even with this lady.
Yeah, that's what people are doing. They're just ramming into ICE agents. Yeah, sure, bro. How about the fact that in Florida it's legal to run people over? If they're like liberals or whatever, you can just do that. Yeah, you see someone with colored hair, you can just run them over. Fuck it.
Getting shot. Even with this lady getting shot and the reaction to it, they're not afraid. They're not afraid of these systems. They're not afraid of these people. And a lot of people are going to watch this and they're going to say, well, that's a good thing. They shouldn't be afraid of their government. Well, when their government's trying to enforce basic laws, there has to be consequences, and there are no consequences. It's like if you do good in this nation, if you do what you're supposed to, if you go to work, if you pay your taxes, you get completely fucked over. You get completely and utterly fucked in the ass as an American if you are a good, decent citizen.
Yeah, and so your solution to that is not to protest. It's not to protest, no. It's just accept it. Accept it and become extremely racist. That's the real solution. That's the real solution. Just become an extreme, radical racist. Genius.
But if you're a piece of shit who doesn't obey the laws, or if you scam, or if you do whatever the hell you want to do, you can get away with it, and you don't go to prison, and you don't get deported. A nation that does not enforce its laws is not a nation. This is a recipe for complete disaster. This is a recipe for total collapse of this country. And we're on the verge of that. Like, I don't think people understand. Like, they say it every single fucking day. I hear it all the time. I see it all the time. People are like, oh yeah, America's on the verge of collapse, or oh yeah, I mean, it's basically over. And it's like, yeah, you're saying that from the comfort of your home with your fucking AC, and you're using your iPhone, you dumbass.
No, yeah, bro. Yeah, leftism is when iPhone. Socialism is no iPhone. Or whatever the fuck you're about to say. Okay, yeah, I know, man. Just because we have, like... We live in the richest nation on the planet, okay? But we live in the ashes of the great American empire. Okay, that's the point. Like, society has collapsed. It is over. We're living in the ashes.
You don't understand what collapse looks like.
Yeah, we have AC.
Collapse
That's
is where
not
it gets
what that...
actually violent. Collapse is where it is...
Societal collapse isn't when no iPhone and no AC, dumbass.
It's just a zero-trust society. It is your neighbor's gonna fucking kill you for your food. Collapse is dog-eat-dog. Collapse is full-on civil conflict. That's where that leads.
Yeah, and we are well on our way. Believe me, we are well on our way. Like, you want to talk about people killing each other for food. How about the fact that they cut off SNAP benefits for a month? And also we're talking about making cuts to it, and I think they cut it for like multiple millions of Americans. Okay, I could be wrong about that. I know that like a ton of Americans just lost free healthcare, just lost Medicaid, or they will from a year from now. Okay, it's fucking
disgusting.
disgusting.
Kind of comprehends this because they feel so safe. They really do. Subconsciously, you're used to your comforts. You're used to the way things are. And you kind of think that things are just going to keep declining, but it's never going to really get that bad. At least for you. Maybe somebody else, but it's never going to be you. It's never going to be somebody you know. And that's why there's so many Americans that don't really take this that serious. But actually, when a lot of us see that all these illegals can come over the border and stay here and we're not kicking any of them out, in fact, we're actually opening up new avenues for immigrants to come here and become permanent citizens, it kind of makes us look around and think, hey, you know, me actually being a good person and paying my taxes and doing all these things actually fucks me over. I'm actually a dumbass for doing any of this. What the fuck is my country even about? What is the point to all of this? Like, what's going on? The laws cannot be enforced. And we keep hearing all these things. ICE agents, they're going to add like 10,000 agents here, another 5,000 there, whatever. Are they actually going to do their job? Are you going to actually provide proper support for them to get these things done? And yeah, cutting off SNAP benefits, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. But you got to take it a little step further. If you're not willing to do martial law in these cities or these states that are completely going against federal law with just basic immigration policies, if they're willing to go against you on that, and if you're not willing to do martial law in those places from the point of view of, hey, these governors, these mayors, these police officers, they're completely failing their communities. They're actually not upholding the law of the land. They're actually not enforcing the rules of this nation. So we're going to come in and do that for them. If you're not willing to do what's necessary for that, then yeah, box them in. You know how they have like Chaz 2.0 right now? Fuck it, dude. Build a fucking barricade around the state. Nobody enters, nobody leaves. Cut off their supplies. Fuck them. Let them kill each other. I honestly do not give a shit. You like immigrants so much? You think they benefit you so much? Then, well, you guys can figure it out on your own. You guys can grow your own fucking crops and figure out where you're going to get your water from because you're not getting it anywhere else. You're not getting your food anywhere else. Fuck you. You're not going to uphold the laws of the land. You don't get to be a part of this ecosystem. You don't get to trade. You don't get the logistics. Fuck you. And I know that's kind of extreme, but you guys don't understand. There has to be an extreme response. There has to be some extreme response from this government. Whether it is martial law and it is the government going in, cleaning house, or just completely cutting them off and letting them fend for themselves. I guarantee you, after like 2-3 months at the most, and that's even being like a little generous to these people, 2-3 months at the most, they're going to be begging. They're going to be like, you know what? Fuck these immigrants. Let's kick them out. We have no food. And a lot of people are going to get mad. They're going to say, but Tom, that's inhumane. Tom, you guys don't realize where these things are going. I've said it a billion times. A nation.
Yeah, bro, we just need to stand idly by while the government brutalizes swaths of civilians that we deem as communist liberals or whatever, what the fuck ever. Okay, what the fuck think about what you're saying, man. I thought you were you guys were like the anti-authoritarian. Do you consider this to not be authoritarian? Or is it okay when your side does it?
That does not enforce its laws.
Is that what it is?
It's not a nation. What does that mean? That means you have collapse. The more and more this keeps going, the more the average American is going to think to themselves, it's like, well, what good is it that I follow the law? What good is it that I follow the rules? My government can't even protect the borders. My government can't even kick out the people that are not even supposed to be here. The basic rules, the basic laws that they are supposed to be enforcing, they can't even do? Oh, but Tom, half of America is actually okay with this. Yeah, half of them are retarded. Half of Americans are retarded and gay as fuck. I don't give a shit. This idea of what the majority thinks, the majority of Americans, yeah, it's what the majority wants. The majority of people are retarded as hell. They're literally programmed from birth to be nothing but sheep.
Yeah, no shit, but it's still important what they think. Like, I also agree that most Americans are, kind of dumb, very uneducated, okay, kind of stupid. I agree with that. But when we're talking about politics, the majority opinion matters a lot. It matters a lot. Those are the people you have to speak to. Okay, you have to try to sway them. This thing that you're doing where you just where you're extremely over the top and brash, especially with your kind of rhetoric, this kind of content won't resonate with normal people. Okay, it's good for building a niche audience like you've done. Okay, building a niche audience of like crazy fucking right-wing extremists. Okay, but like a majority of people don't agree with you. A majority of people hear your opinions and they might say like, oh yeah, well, like, maybe like we do need to strengthen the border, but like I don't really like what the ICE is doing. Like, this seems really fucked up. I don't like this. Like that's what the average American is thinking when they see shit like this. Okay, they're starting to be like, well, maybe this wasn't such a good idea. Okay, that's it. If you want to make change for your side, you have to speak to that. Okay, you can't just shut it down. You can't just be like, no, like they need to go harder. Actually, they need to go harder on the brown people in the woke communist. Okay, like that. People already don't like it. They already don't like it. Okay, a year ago, people were a lot more receptive to this idea. They were like, oh yeah, like we should do deportations. We should like secure our country or whatever. Like things are scary and we want security and we want the laws enforced and we want criminals to go to jail or deported and we want innocents to be free and to blah blah blah. That's what people wanted. Okay, the deportations, people were warmed up to that idea. They were like, oh yeah, to accomplish all these things, let's deport all the illegals. okay, that are here illegally. Okay, but now it's a little different. Now it's not so much like, now people are having buyer's remorse. Okay, it's like, oh, maybe this ICE thing, maybe it's not so good. Maybe they just killed an innocent white woman in broad daylight. Maybe this isn't so good. And you guys are like, oh, no, you don't get it. She was woke. She deserved it. She deserved it, bro. And it's not gonna work, man. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, it's not gonna work. You need to change your rhetoric here, okay? I'm not trying to tell you how to do your job, okay? I know I'm stepping on your toes a little bit, but like, if I were you, I wouldn't be saying this shit.
They don't think for themselves. Okay, they consume propaganda and bullshit on the daily. They don't need to be making any decisions. The fact that, oh, America's a democracy? No, first of all, we're a republic. But even if we were just a straight up democracy,
no, we are a democracy. We are a democratic republic. We are a democratic republic. I hate talking about this because it's one of those things that conservatives talk about it to feel smart. Okay, you know how liberals will like talk about certain topics to feel smart, you know, to like smell their own farts. Okay, this is one of those things, but for conservatives, okay, this is one of their things. Oh no, we're a constitutional republic. Yeah, no fucking shit, dumb fuck. Nobody's saying that we aren't. Okay, how do we select our representatives in this republic? Wait, that's right. Oh, we do it democratically. Oh, wow. Wow, that's so crazy. That's so crazy. Wait, what? The Electoral College? What is that?
Democracy sucks.
What is
Democracy
that? I don't know
is
what
for
that
gay
is.
idiots, all right? It doesn't fucking work. Democracy does not work. You wanna know why? Because it leads to zero trust societies where none of the laws get enforced and everybody just eventually starts killing each other. It's not working, so no, fuck democracy. And
wow, how pro-American is that? Yeah, anti-democracy. That's so pro-American. You are so pro-American, bro. You are so American values. You are so trad. This is exactly what traditional Americans would say back in the day. Yeah, for sure, bro. They would say, democracy is evil. It's going to lead to evilness in society, and we got to get rid of it. Okay, yeah, it's so trad and based. And anyway, I know I'm joking, okay, but in all seriousness, I could not disagree with this person more about this topic. Okay, I think democracy is one of the great virtues of our country. I think it's one of the great things about America, as well as I've talked about the things I like about America. Okay, because on this show, I often talk about things I don't like about America. So I also like to, to flip it and show all the Republicans that I do love America by telling them what exactly I like about America. And that is democracy. Okay, that's one thing. We have democracy. This is a democracy. You can shout all day that it's a republic. Okay, it's both. It's fucking both. You're stupid. It is a democratic republic. That is what our country is. Okay, don't get it twisted. It's not just one or the other, and they are not mutually exclusive. Okay, so that's the first thing. Okay, I like our democracy. I like the freedom of speech. Okay, and I like all of the diversity. Okay, these are the things I consider to be the most virtuous about America. That's just my personal opinion, though.
If you're gonna use the Constitution as some type of, toilet paper for you to fucking shield yourself against these arguments, fuck the Constitution as well. Fuck this version. Let's bring back the OG version. How about that? Let's roll it back. Let's get rid of some of those fucking amendments, right? The ones that suck. How about let's do that? But we won't enforce these laws.
Is that gonna make us not a democracy anymore? I don't think so. It's just going to make us a more limited democracy, where only a select few people, white landowners, get to vote. Okay, you want to roll back all these amendments? Guess what, man? If we roll back the amendments, guess where you're going to be? You're going to be down at the bottom of the hierarchy with the rest of us. Dumb fuck. You are advocating for your own oppression. You are advocating for your own disillusionment. That is what you are doing. You are advocating for your rights to be taken away. Okay, like, do you think that in this new society where we roll back the Constitution that exists in your mind, do you imagine that you're one of the people that will get to vote? Okay, and if so, you're delusional. Okay, you are. You're not going to be one of those people. But anyway, if you don't envision yourself as one of those people, then I ask you, why the fuck would you want to do that then? Why would you want to do that? You want less rights? You want less of a say in society, in the way that our society is structured? Why? You're stupid.
Any of these things.
You're a
Why?
stupid
Because we're afraid
bootlicker.
of offending women. We're afraid of feminism. We're afraid of white women. That's the reason why all this shit is where it is today. Look at any metric. Why are things as bad as they are? Because of white women. Because of women. Because we're afraid to upset women. And it's going to literally lead to a civil collapse. To where we're going to be eating each other alive.
This is what the Nazis said. Say it with me.
Because
this
we're too afraid
is
to tell a
what
woman
the
to shut the fuck up
Nazis
and to
said.
go away.
Let's go.
It's like, actually, we don't give a shit about your opinion. We actually don't care if you're crying
It
right
is
now.
the
You're gonna cry either way.
sissification
I don't
of
give a fuck.
society.
This
It
person
is the
shouldn't be here.
women.
Basic laws.
Yeah,
we
bro.
can't even enforce those. And it's getting very laughable because these things are very dangerous. And a lot of people are going to watch this. They're going to be completely upset. They're going to completely disagree. They're going to be offended. They're going to be like, oh, here's Tom crashing out again about women. What a misogynist. What a racist. What a fucking loser. It's like, well, first of all, fuck you. You're a fucking beta cuck. Nobody gives a shit about you. And when you die, nobody's going to remember you. You will not do anything great in your life ever. Okay? So nobody cares. I don't give a shit about your opinion.
Yeah,
Suck a dick.
ditto.
Fuck yourself. All right? I don't care. I do not care. All right? You are the one who is too afraid to offend women. You're like, oh, well, that's a little too much, Tom. Shouldn't be saying that.
Yeah, I'm so afraid. I'm so afraid to offend women. It's totally not because, like, I have a brain that is capable of fucking critically thinking about things for more than 5 seconds, and like I have a nuanced understanding of various political topics instead of having the most surface level racist bullshit take that I can possibly come up with to feed to my dumb fuck audience. I can feed them dribble and slop that they lap up because they're dumb fucking racist.
Should be saying
like
that.
yours.
This guy calls himself a Christian. Yeah, fuck you. What are you gonna do? Nothing. You ain't gonna do shit. So keep complaining, bitch. Keep watching my video, cuck. But seriously, at what point are we as a nation just gonna wake up
Yeah,
and just...
bro, I'm such a cuck for reacting to your videos. That, you know, that's not a very nice way of talking to one of your most loyal viewers, because I know you're talking to me, Thomas. I know you are. I know you won't name drop me. But who else is making videos about you? Who else is there? Like, I'm the only one. I know you're watching this shit. Okay, suck my dick, bro. Suck it from the back. Let's go. You want to get all gay with me? I don't know why. Why do all these young Republican men want me to be gay? They want me to be gay with them. They want me to do gay things with them. I don't get it, man. I thought this was like the trad hetero party. What's up with that,
tell women
man?
to shut the
That's
fuck
weird.
up. And it's not just women. I will say that. It's not just women. There are dudes who are doing this too. There are guys who are doing this too. But why?
Hey, I'm right here.
Because they're
I'm
following
right here,
in the
bro.
footsteps of the women after them. That's why.
Yeah.
They're not thinking, and they're
Yeah,
like, no, I actually
yo,
think that...
Yo, can I say this? I'll say this unironically. I have no female role models, okay, other than my mom. Okay, my mom is unironically a role model. She's a very smart person. But anyway, I'm not gonna get into all that right now. But like, I don't really look up to women. And look, all of you feminists out there, all you lib cuck woke tards, you can finger wag me for that. I don't even really blame you. Like, because I feel like I should have female role models. I need to read, like, fucking Plath or some shit. I heard her shit was pretty woke and good. But I don't know. I just... I think it's relatability. You know, I look up to people who I see as similar to me. You know, and women are women, and men are men, and yada yada. So I don't really relate to them as much. You know, men and women have very different lived experiences. So, you know, anyway.
This is actually kind of a good...
Anyway, you're so right, bro. I'm just getting my penis stepped on by a girl boss feminist all the time, bro. That's what I do. I lay my body out like a red carpet, and they stomp all over me.
And they're completely pussy whipped.
It's so woke.
The reason why
and
America is going to
epic.
die and completely collapse is because of white feminist women and their cuck pussy whipped husbands and or boyfriends. That's the reason why. So, dude, America, we had a good run. We did a lot of crazy shit. We made a lot of cool shit. But you know what? The white feminist bitches and their cuck husbands, they said it's enough. They said it's gone on for too long. It's time for us to completely collapse. Are you serious? That's why? That's going to be the death of this nation?
That's not a relationship. I get what he's talking about. But that kind of relationship I don't see at all, actually. Not very often, anyway. I mean, I literally cannot think of an example of a lib cuck guy that that gets stomped all over by his girl boss wife. I can't. I'm struggling to think of any relationship I've seen in my personal life, in the media, in like, you know, celebrity relationships. Like I can't think of anything. Okay, I do, however, see a lot of liberal women with conservative men because they think that they can change them. Okay, and look, before you say anything, it's because the conservative men are so trad and based and they're hot and women are just attracted to that. I don't think so. Okay, hear me out. First of all, this is a pervasive thing that I see it quite often. Okay, I see conservative men, liberal women. But it's not like, it's not across the board, right? It's not like every relationship is like this, obviously. But like, I don't see a lot of like liberal men with based women that are like girl bosses or whatever. They're like that. I see a lot of like I can change him, you know, like a liberal woman thinks that she can like change her man to be you know, more libbed up, more woke. And it never really works, ladies, okay? I'm sorry to say, you know, this is because I think a lot of women, and again, like, I'm not a woman, I don't have a woman's lived experiences, maybe you guys could tell me, okay? But I think that women oftentimes look at their partner as a project, okay? As something to improve on, to change. Men don't really want this. They just want, like, you know, a hot goth mommy to stomp on their balls all the time. That's what men want. But in all seriousness, I don't think men really look to change their woman a lot. But I think women do this to men. I think they do. I think they want to change them, and it's problematic. Okay, women, I don't think that you should do this. It's not that you shouldn't want people to change, but you can't make someone change. You can't. It's, you know, it's difficult to even guide them. Okay, let alone like make it happen. Like, you're never gonna mold someone to be the person that you want them to be. Okay, that's what I think. Anyway,
when are we gonna wake up and tell them to shut the fuck up? We'll tell the cucks to shut up, and we're gonna tell the women to shut the fuck up. It's like, we actually don't care about your political opinion. We actually don't care if you feel uncomfortable.
Okay, so is it the women or is it the cucks, man? I don't get it. Who are we telling to shut up? Like, you're saying it's women, then you're saying it's their cucked boyfriends or husbands or whatever. Like, which is it? It's both? Okay, so we're gonna tell everyone to shut up, men and women? Or just only the alpha men, the white landowners get to fucking say shit? Okay, why? Why do you think that's better than what we have right now? Okay, and don't just say, like, shit right now sucks, and, like, we just need to go back, and it'll all be better. Like, no. Okay, the genie's out of the bottle. Okay, that's it.
This is the way the world works. These people are not supposed to be here. Is it sad? Yes, it is sad. These people who do not see reality, these people that think you can cut your dick off and become a woman, the people that think it's actually empowering when a woman starts an OnlyFans and starts selling pictures of her fucking asshole for money, these people that think that uplifts women, their view of reality is completely warped. It's completely perverted. And, you know, I have some friends that I follow on my personal accounts, and they're pretty crazy. They're pretty extreme. Some of them are communists, some of them are socialists, some of them are like hardcore feminists, and I follow them for a few reasons. One, because I've known them for forever. So that's one. But two, it gives me a window into seeing what this type of person thinks, because they're constantly posting about their politics all day, every day. That's something they do. Like, you can bet on that shit every day of the week.
That's what you do. I do the, okay, I can relate to you about this, because that's what I'm literally doing right now, just on the opposite side of politics. Okay, but yes, this is normal. It's okay to do this, to see what the other side is saying. But, you know, particularly when you're a content creator, you do have to be careful about who you platform. You know, either whichever side you're on, you don't want to platform the most radical people. Okay, that's why you don't see people knocking down my door to debate me, despite how easy I would be to dunk on, because I'm so stupid. Because I'm so stupid and cucked, lib cucked. You know, it's because they don't want to give me a platform. They don't want their audience to hear what I have to say. It'll push them in the direction of, you know, the left politics. Okay, like the Overton window has shifted. Okay, and now more extreme right-wing politics are acceptable. But the Overton window will shift again, I think. It will. It'll go in the left direction. Okay, that's the way it'll go. And it's because of people like me. It's because people like me never shut up. Okay, that's it.
They're going to be posting about their politics. But there's this one girl I know, and she posted this picture. I'm going to put it up for you. And it has a quote from 1984 by George Orwell, and it has a picture of the seats from this woman's car who just got fucking blasted in the face by the ICE agent with the blood splattered over it. And it says, the party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. It was their final, most essential command. And that's a really great quote from a really great book. But here's something I can guarantee you. This chick that posted this shit on her Insta has never read 1984. And these people, they'll take these quotes, they'll take these things, they'll apply it to their warped worldview. But then when you talk about...
How do you know that? How do you know she didn't read it? Look, bro, we all went to high school. Okay, we all took like basic English in high school. 1984 is, if I'm not mistaken, is part of the basic curriculum in America. Okay, like that's a book that we read, that we study, pretty much across the board. Okay, so like this, you're talking about a book that most Americans have technically read. Okay, they might not like remember it, they might not have been paying attention, but like technically they did read it. So this is just completely disingenuous. Okay, like
white people getting replaced in their own nation.
Other people will consume the same media as you, and they will come to different conclusions about what it's about. So what 1984 is about to us is a lot different from what you think about it, and even what the author himself thought about it. Because for those of you that don't know, Orwell was a staunch anti-communist, at least in his later years. Okay, now if I'm not mistaken, when he actually wrote 1984 in 1948, okay, that was the year he wrote it, I think he was more libbed up. I think he was like more woke. But throughout the McCarthy era, he became more radicalized against communism, and that's what he spoke out about in his later life. If anybody like disagrees with me on that, I'm open to hearing it, of course, because I don't fucking know everything about George Orwell. Okay, but that's my understanding of it anyway.
The statistics to actually prove that. When you talk about the Great Replacement, or you talk about any of these other things, they ignore it. They pretend like they don't understand what you're talking about. It's literally that one quote from Millennial Woes where it says, it's amazing how much leftist discourse is just them pretending not to understand things, thus making discourse impossible.
Bro, for sure.
And that's kind of the whole point. That's like where we're
I understand.
And the reason why this is just so concerning.
I think that a lot of leftists, they don't understand the racism. They don't understand what it's like to like be racist. Okay, I do. I remember it. I remember it vividly. Okay, most of the time. I mean, don't get me wrong. In my teenage years, I was doing a lot of things that I shouldn't have been doing. That caused my memory to sometimes not be so good from back then. But I do remember my political stances. Okay, and so I can relate to you guys. I instantly understand what you're talking about when you start talking about it. Okay, in a way that most libs aren't able to do. Okay, they aren't able to understand you, and it's because they never felt it, bro. They never felt race. A lot of them were victims of racism, okay, and oppression, right? A lot of libs are people of color. They are black people, yada yada, okay. But even like the white ones can't really relate to this whole racism thing, okay. They can't, okay. But me though, me personally, I can, okay. I remember what it was like. I defended Trump. I defended him routinely. All throughout his first admin, in the lead up to the first election, the 2016 election, I defended him. I remember what he said about Mexicans. Looking back on it, it was disgusting. It was abhorrent. They were racist lies. Okay? But at the time, I defended them. That's why I say I can relate to these like racist thoughts that you have. Okay? I understand and I remember. Okay? It's just that you're fucking wrong. You're wrong about all of it. You are wrong about literally every fucking racist lie that comes out of your Fresse. Sorry, I couldn't think of a word. That's a German word. It means animal mouth. It's their word for there's a difference between a person's mouth and an animal's mouth in German. There's a distinction. The word for an animal's mouth is Fresse. And of course it's an insult to tell someone to shut their Fresse
is because the line
mouth.
For peaceful debates,
I'll be right back.
Unity with the two different groups, because there are factions. in this nation. It's not just people who are in control. There are people who are on the same level as you. They make the same amount of money. They go through the same bullshit, but they completely subscribe to a different worldview. And they think the solution to things are much radically different than what you believe. And the only way for us to unify or to come together or to meet in the middle is through discourse. And that's dead. A lot of people say that died when Charlie Kirk got shot. But to be quite honest, it was probably too late for that even before that. And when you don't have discourse, you only have one option, which is to keep a country from totally collapsing, is you have to maintain order. You have to keep the laws. You have to enforce the laws of the land. That is the only way. And we can't even do that. We can't have discussions. We can't have debates. And now we can't even enforce laws. And there are people that feel emboldened enough and they feel strong enough to where they can go out and they can obstruct people from enforcing the law. There needs to be a fear in these people, a real fear, because there isn't. There isn't. Some people will say, no, there is. They're really brave. No, they're not. They know nothing's going to happen to them. A majority of them know when they go out there, they're not going to get arrested because you see these videos of these ICE agents running away. You see these videos of these cops retreating with their tail tucked in between their legs, running off. And it emboldens them. It makes these people feel like they're indestructible, like life is a movie. And because of these people, our nation is going to totally collapse. Because of these people, we're not going to have a nation. We're not going to have a society. We will have death and destruction. He who tolerates disorder in order to avoid war has disorder first and then war. That's a Machiavelli quote. And it's 100.
Okay, look, man, I have some advice for you about your rhetoric. Again, okay? I know. I'm just a stupid fucking liberal, okay? But hear me out, man. What you are doing right now is called the Reichstag fire. Okay, you're having a Reichstag fire moment, but this is not a Reichstag fire moment. Okay, it's not. People aren't gonna buy this. Okay, maybe again, like I've been saying, the lowest of the low, the lowest common denominator in your community, they will buy that. Okay, but this is not a Reichstag fire moment. Okay, this is like completely the opposite of that. Okay, because people aren't buying it. For those of you that don't understand what I'm talking about, when Hitler became chancellor, there was a fire at the Reichstag. Now, there has been speculation on who actually caused the fire. Okay, some people believe it was the Nazis. Okay, it was a false flag operation. You know, I somewhat agree with that. I mean, I haven't totally looked into all the evidence and yada yada, but anyway, that's not the point. The point is, they blamed a communist. The communist was executed for it. He was blamed for the Reichstag fire. Okay, this is what this event created the permission structure in Germany that allowed the Holocaust to happen. Okay, because in order for the Holocaust to happen, what did you need? You needed a strong secret police. Okay, you needed a robust intelligence apparatus. Okay. And this did not exist at the time, in 1944. I mean, in 1933. Think about the FBI and the CIA. Okay, these are our intelligence agencies. Okay, they do the investigations and whatnot, criminality, yada yada. Okay, in Germany, they didn't really have that for real. So the conspiracy goes that the Nazis did the Reichstag fire, blamed a communist, and they used this, you know, whether it was a false flag or not, they definitely did use this to create this intelligence apparatus. Okay, the secret police, the Gestapo. Okay, and the Schutzstaffel used the Gestapo to hunt down political dissent, communist collaborators, communist sympathizers, and of course Jewish people. And they rounded them up and they murdered all of them. That is what's happening in America right now. Right now, and people are afraid. And you're saying that they're emboldened. That's ridiculous. But when you see violence in the streets, do you think that emboldens the libs when they watch people like them get executed in broad daylight and nothing is done about it? You know, no, man. This is not emboldening people. This is actually making them feel more scared. But they are fighting back because there is nothing else. There's nothing else that they can do. Our representatives won't do anything. They won't protect us. They won't even hold the people that kill us accountable. So what else is there to do, man? What else is there to do other than protest? You know, obviously there is an answer to that, and it is violence. Okay, but people don't want that. They don't want violence. They want peace. But they have to protest. It is our only option.
100% correct. That is where we are going. We have a government that is afraid to enforce the laws because they're worried it will start a conflict. It will start some type of civil war, and they want to avoid that. And so they refuse to enforce the laws. And what do you still get? What do you get with all this cowardice? What do you get from these people retreating? What do you get with that? You still get disorder. And where is all this disorder leading to? It is leading to average Americans waking up and realizing, you know what? I actually get nothing from this. If all these other people don't have to do it, and if they're completely just reaping tons of benefits, why the fuck am I playing the game? Why the fuck am I participating in this? I should just say fuck it and just start going outside and doing fucked up shit. That's what more and more people are starting to think. And everybody knows there's this violent frustration that is festering under the surface of the society. And it has been there for years. Everyone knows it. Everyone feels it. At any moment, the powder keg can go off. At any moment, this country could be over. That is a very real possibility for your future. Not even a far future, the very near future in your life. And nobody has any idea what that would look like. Nobody has any idea really how bad it could get. It's going to be violent. A lot of people are going to die. And the only way to avoid that is to enforce the law. The only way to avoid that is to bring order to the chaos, is to bring an end to the disorder that is in our country, that is in our nation. And we're not doing that. The government, our leaders, the ones that we have placed in charge of us, they're failing. That means they're failing not only you and I, but your families. That means they're failing your kids and your kids' future. What future is your kid going to have if there is no country? Like literally, with the way things are going, what's the fucking point of putting your kid in school? Because if shit keeps going the way it is, there's not going to be a job for your kid to have. There's not going to be, a society for your kid to participate in that's not going to involve bullets and guns and keeping to yourselves and balkanization on some level. And a lot of you would say, well, that's unavoidable at this point. That's just what's going to happen. That's where all this is eventually going to lead to. And it's just so frustrating because it can be avoided, but it has to be enforced. It has to be a government that is unafraid to say no. It has to be a society that is unafraid to look at a white woman in the face and to tell her to shut the fuck up and to sit down. We can't even do that without every other fucking dude in a 50-mile radius getting offended and taking the dildo out of their ass and going like, hey, actually, that's not very nice. How could you talk to a woman in that manner? How could you do that? I don't know, man. Maybe it's because your chick is saying some insane shit and she needs to shut the fuck up. Maybe that's what you should do as her boyfriend, as her husband, is to tell her to shut the fuck up. And maybe it's a vice versa effect too. There's probably some girl out there who's dating some loser and maybe she has to tell you to shut the fuck up because you're an idiot. Maybe that's what's going on. But at the very least, if we want things to continue onward, if we want to even have some level of a fighting chance at fixing any of the problems that we currently have, we have to have some level of self-respect. We have to stop giving a shit about offending people. We have to stop giving a shit about things getting bad. Things are going to get bad whether you like it or not. It's either going to be bad under our control or it's going to be no control whatsoever. And I guarantee you that's going to be way worse. And I'm right. You know I'm right. You might not want to admit that, but everything I'm saying is correct. Everybody knows this doesn't go anywhere good.
Yeah, man. Look, when it comes to offending people, whatever. Okay, I think that it's silly to hyperfixate on this like a lot of conservatives do, and
I don't give a shit
and a lot of liberals as well. Okay, hyperfixate on offensive language. Okay, I want to speak about this in like my personal opinion about this, which I know nobody cares, but I think that human language is inherently limited. Okay, there are things, ideas swimming around in people's brains that are difficult to put into words. Okay, words are limiting. They are like communication is it's what allowed us to share our brain thoughts with each other. Like other animals, I presume that they also sort of have thoughts in their heads, right? But not with words because they don't have language. Okay, but like they have thoughts in their heads. Okay, I think that this is probably true, definitely, undeniably true, actually. And so humans developed language to share what was going on in our brains with each other. But it just doesn't perfectly do that. Okay. And so anyway, humans, we can't read each other's minds, but using words is the closest thing we have to that. Okay. And that's what language is. Okay, it's words and like the grammatical structure to with the end goal being to share what's in your brain with another brain. Okay. And anyway, there aren't words that perfectly describe everything in your brain. Okay, first of all, words are binary and thoughts often are not. Okay, they're, classic liberal move. Okay, it's a spectrum, not a binary, but it is. Okay, thoughts are not like black and white. They're not like words that have definitions. They have stringent. And I'm not saying that like this is incorrect, that we shouldn't approach language in this way, but I'm saying it's inherently limited. Okay, it is a inherently limiting system, and I think that the only way to like solve that would be to like literally just everybody reads each other's minds with like brain chips or something, with like Wi-Fi connected brain chips. But that sounds kind of invasive. Okay, that doesn't sound like a great solution, but I don't know. I've been playing too much Baldur's Gate, bro.
Half the country is saying, if half the country is advocating for people not enforcing the law, I don't care.
Hey, go play Baldur's Gate, bro. It's woke as fuck.
I don't care if the government has to go in and hogtie everybody and
really
put a fucking gun to their head and tell them to shut the fuck up. If that is what is required, if that is what is needed, which unfortunately, I know it won't be pretty. Unfortunately, I know it's not going to be that nice. Unfortunately, you're going to see a lot of videos of people getting hurt. Unfortunately, you're going to see a lot of women crying. A lot of men crying too. Unfortunately, you're going to see a lot of people being very upset. But unfortunately, that is what it has come to. That is where things are. Would it be nice for things not to be that bad? Would it be nice for that not to be required?
He is angry.
Yes, that would be fucking beautiful. But guess what? It's too late. And you want to know why it's too late? Because we weren't enforcing our own rules. And then we were letting other people come in here and abuse us and steal from us and take from us. Is that every single person who's come here illegally? No, it isn't. But it doesn't matter. It does not matter. That's the point. That's where we are at this moment. It doesn't fucking matter. There is a line that has been drawn in the sand. Are you for America or are you not? Do you actually give a shit about this nation or not? Do you actually care about the Constitution, whatever version you believe in or not? Is it actually something you believe in, or is it just something you use to abuse others? Do you actually love—
Wait, you were just saying how we need to roll back all of the amendments. You were just saying that. The amendments, which were enshrined into our Constitution. You want to reverse them. Yeah, and also you were talking about how you hate democracy, how democracy is flawed and doesn't work. Yeah, that's so patriotic, man. That's so American.
This nation,
so
do you actually
America.
want to make it great? Do you actually want your kids to have a future or not?
So
that is the line that has been drawn. And unfortunately for you, and unfortunately for me, we don't have a lot of options. And I get it. Not everybody is going to be okay with what needs to be done. Not everybody is going to be on board. I get that. A lot of people will get upset. A lot of people will be sad. That's fine. If that is you, bless your heart. All right? I'm not even going to come at you. I know I've been kind of going off, but honestly, bless your heart. But this is something you need to sit out of. And I'm being quite honest. If you do not have the stomach to pull this off, you need to just bow out of the conversation. Because if this is not done, you don't have a country.
I'm going to keep talking.
I don't think that's making a lot of sense to a lot of people. I don't think they're actually grasping the severity of what that means. Maybe you should get more of an imagination and you'd be a lot more scared. You'd be a lot more terrified of what that leads to. And everybody knows. Everyone knows. That's where this is going. Everybody knows it. So if that's you, but if you still are America first, if you still actually give a shit about this nation, fine, bless your heart, but you need to sit it out. You need to stop giving your opinion so much on it. We don't need to hear you cry about it.
I am not America first because I do not align with your America first movement. My main priority is America. In that sense, I am America first. But America first isn't really about putting America first or Americans first. It's about being racist and hating brown people, blaming all of society's problems on brown people, on gay people, yada yada. You know, I could keep going. Okay, that's what your movement is about. So don't try to pretend like it's about putting America first when you say shit like we need to repeal all of the amendments to the Constitution, or like most of them, or whatever. All of the ones except for the trad and based ones, like the Second Amendment, the first 10, the Bill of Rights, okay, or whatever. That's probably what you would say, and it's fucking stupid. And it's antithetical to, like, the American experiment, or whatever it is. Okay, this is supposed to be the land of opportunity, of freedom, for all, regardless of your creed, color, sexual orientation, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and you're saying, like, no, guys, we need to be more racist. We need to get all racist with it, guys. That's what we gotta fucking do.
And complaining. Sit this one out, and the people who are capable and willing to do what is needed will do that.
Nah, I don't think I will sit this one out, man. I think I'm gonna keep talking, actually. I think I'm gonna keep talking about how, the savage ICE thugs are murdering innocent people in the street because they are. And you're gonna keep defending it because you have no actual spine, or you have no real beliefs. Okay, not really, other than that you're angry and somebody is causing all of the turmoil in your life, and you've decided that it's brown people, or it's the Jews. The Jews are importing the brown people. The brown people are doing all of the crime, don't you see? Okay, and this is what you believe, and it's fucking idiotic. It is the most brain-dead, bottom-of-the-barrel viewpoint that you can have on politics. That's why, and unfortunately, it's gained prominence. Okay, your ideology has gained prominence. Like 2 years ago, if I were making content 2 years ago, I wouldn't watch your videos and laugh at you. I would maybe watch a video in my free time and laugh at you, maybe, if I were like really bored. Okay, but now your dad, Nicholas Fuentes, has gone on TV, he's gone on international news, he has gained this prominence, and his ideas are being presented as legitimate, real, like, agenda and rhetoric, and it's not. It's just Nazi shit. It's just evil racism, okay, dressed up in American patriotism. That's all it is. Okay, and I'm gonna keep saying it, and you can keep saying I'm a beta male cuck. Okay, you'll say that, you'll hyperfixate on my identity, my real identity, and your perception of my identity, because you have no actual argument. You have no substance to your argumentation. All you can do is do what you guys would probably call ad hominem attacks. Okay, it's an ad hominem attack. Not just because you're insulting me, but because that's the crux of your argument. The crux of your argument is that I'm a woke sissy lib. I'm a libtard. I'm a woke sissy libtard, and therefore everything I ever think is going to be woke and gay and yada yada. Okay, that's it. That's it, and it's fucking stupid. You're a dumbass. You're a dumb fuck, and I hate
anybody else
you.
who is stupid enough to think that, oh, well, we can fight against you and we can stop it. Good fucking luck. Because let me tell you something. Every day the government doesn't enforce the laws, every day the federal government does not enforce the rules of this nation, is just a day closer to where the people of this nation will start doing that.
I agree with that, and that's exactly why every racist ICE thug savage needs to be locked up. That's why. Okay? Any crime that has been committed by federal law enforcement needs to be prosecuted immediately. Immediately. If you are an ICE agent, watch your fucking back, bro. Watch your back. I know you already are. They're all paranoid as fuck, and they're untrained, and that's why they kill people, I think. That's part of it anyway. Okay, the other part is that they're evil racist. Okay, but anyway, ICE agents need to be prosecuted. They've gone too far. I keep saying this. I'm going to keep saying it. Okay, ICE agents are terrible people. Okay, they are. They need to, and any of them that have committed, and that's all of them, okay, but any of them that have committed a crime, they need to be in jail immediately, and they're not. They're not. They have been committing crimes, and they aren't in jail for it. That's the problem, and they are hiding their identities. They are wearing masks and hiding their identities, specifically because they don't want it to come back to them. They don't want to be prosecuted. They don't want to face vigilante justice either, of course. I will concede to that as well. But why do you think people want to do vigilante justice? Oh yeah, it's because of all the crimes that they're committing and not being prosecuted for.
It's not going to be as nice.
Wow.
It's not going to be as pretty.
Wow,
it's going to
that's
be a whole
so
lot
crazy.
more violence. And a lot of people are itching for that. A lot of people are literally begging for that. They are waiting. They want it. They've been prepping. They've been preparing because they have no faith in.
But I don't think it's the libs that are like. Do you see a lot of like end of the world preppers that are like all woke and lived up? Like, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that the people that like role play and they LARP about this kind of societal collapse, they are right wing. They are Republican. Okay, those are the people that want it to happen. Okay, they've been preparing for it. If you build a bunker and you fill it with toiletries and rations and like water and whatever else you need, and then society doesn't collapse, then congratulations, you just wasted a bunch of time and money, and also your entire life probably
from this government whatsoever.
That you put into doing that.
And I guarantee you, whoever is disagreeing with them, you're not ready. Where the left is willing, the right is capable of violence, 100%, on a level you guys can't even comprehend. That is where things are going. And I'm not trying to threaten anybody. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm just being realistic and telling you that is where things are headed.
No, you are trying to scare people. What? Of course you're trying to scare people. What the fuck do you mean? This is classic fear-mongering. Oh, the right, you guys aren't prepared. The right is gonna fucking, step on all of the sissy liberals and crush their heads under their boots, okay? Like, yeah, that kind of sounds like, that kind of sounds like you're trying to make people scared. Okay, and I don't even really disagree with you about doing that, because people should be scared because of what's happening. Okay, people should be scared. Of course they should be, and they are. They are, like, whether they should be or not, like, they are. Okay, you can say that they're emboldened, they're whatever, all you want. You can yap about it all fucking day. People are scared. That's it.
You're going to just stand in the way, and it's okay because the government en masse isn't going to hurt you. It's just going to be one ICE officer every once in a while. It's just going to be one police officer every once in a while. If it gets to the point to where the citizens are the ones that have to start enforcing the basic rules and laws of this nation, it's not going to be every once in a while. It's going to be every single fucking time you encounter them. That's not a threat. That's literally just the reality of the situation. That is where things are going. But what are we going to see? We're going to see for the next couple weeks more protests, more people being angry, more people who could not even give a fuck about this woman because she is white, but use her as some type of accelerator for their movements, for their
they
narrative.
don't care.
We don't have unity.
They don't care.
We're a nation without unity. We're a nation without...
I'm such a good faith I'm such a good faith debater, bro. Yeah, they're just using her. They fucking hate her, okay? They don't give a fuck about her.
Laws that are being enforced. We're a nation that takes from its citizens and gives to foreigners. We're a nation that cannot survive in this way. And the fact that Trump and this administration has more of a hard-on for going after Mexico and Venezuela and fucking getting Greenland and all this shit instead of actually enforcing immigration in its own country. In fact, the fact that they're so pressed on that, it's literally actually insane how they're not handling this situation. It doesn't matter how many points of interest...
They are handling the situation as they see fit, okay? It was always about money, man. That's it. They just wanted money. Like, I don't know why I have to keep explaining this to you guys. Trump never cared about anything other than money. He doesn't give a fuck about immigrants. Not really. Okay? Because, number one, immigrants are not doing what he has said they are doing, which is rape and pillage and blah, blah, blah. Okay? You know, we could talk about all the shit he's made up about migrants all day. We could literally talk about it all day, or, you know, multiple days straight, even. Okay? He said a ton of shit like that. But anyway, Trump doesn't actually give a fuck about any of this. It's just rhetoric to him. It always has been. Okay, he doesn't fucking care because, number one, he probably knows it's not real. Okay, or he just, again, doesn't care whether it's real or not. Okay, and number two, the immigrants help him. They help him make money. He exploits them. He is a capitalist. He is friends with lots of rich people who also exploit immigrant labor for money, for profit. They want this. They want immigrants. Okay, it's what they want. They want immigrants to exploit them. Okay, libs, regular, not the politicians, but regular libs, they want immigrants for diversity, for like expanding people's horizons, okay, getting new perspectives in society. But they all want it. Okay, everybody wants immigrants, except for, you know, except for racist fucking Republicans. Okay, that's it.
Sure, it doesn't matter how many barrels of oil you secure or whatever the fuck, how many resources. If your own nation is collapsing from within, you do not have a country. And all these people that think they're living...
well, they don't care. They don't care because it's just about money. They just want to make money. It's always been... We were trying to tell you this. We were trying to tell you this for years. For years we've been saying this. Like, and this is somewhat true for all politicians. Okay, of course, they all just want to make money, line their pockets, gain power. Okay. But the difference is that when Joe Biden was in office, he sprinkled some crumbs at the poors. He said, "Here, peasants, here you go. Here are some crumbs." Okay, and we were like, "Yay!" Like, thank you. You know, honestly, you know, look, it's not enough. Okay, like I said, it's just crumbs. It's crumb sprinkling. But like. You know, look, I'm consistent in my views. When Joe Brandon does good things for the working class, even though I might personally think it's not enough, I'll say, good job, Brandon. You did the thing. Okay, you did the damn thing. Okay, Trump doesn't do this. I don't ever get to say this about Trump. Okay, or or really anyone else for that matter. Okay, Joe Brandon is the only president that has done anything for the working class, anything at all, for like 50 years. For 50 years, we've had presidents that are just like, come on, open wide, open. Let me piss in your mouth, working Americans. Let me pee on you, okay? And then, like clockwork, okay? Americans do it every time, and they say thank you, and then they say thank you after, okay? But anyway, recently, within the last decade, that tune has kind of changed a little bit. And you're seeing a shift towards economic populism. Okay, because Americans are suffering, and they're starting to wake up to the fact that they are suffering. They're not in denial anymore, like, oh no, I'm just I mean, a lot of them are still in denial, but you know, generally people are becoming more woke about this, okay? You're not a temporarily embarrassed billionaire. The game was rigged from the start. Okay, the game is fixed. Yada yada. Okay, that's it. That's it. That's what happened. Okay, so now we're here, and you're saying this, and it's really dumb.
Being in a Marvel movie, they think they're in some type of resistance movement, and that they're going to fight and give their lives for a bunch of foreigners.
Yeah, stupid libs. They think that life is a movie. They think that life is a movie. Like, come on, man. Just like protesting is our only vector of attack against the state. Okay, it is the only non-violent option. Okay, protesting, exercising your right to protest, is the only way to retaliate against the state in a legal way. Do you understand? So it's not LARPing, it's not roleplay, it's just our only option, our only non-violent option. So that's what people are doing. They are protesting. I support it. I think it's epic. Okay, you can like sit there and fucking be like, oh, you guys are not doing it. You're not getting anything done. Well, what the fuck are you doing? Sitting behind a computer. That's what you're doing. You're doing the same shit as me. You're not doing fucking dick. You're making stupid little fucking racist videos for your dipshit audience, and you'll never grow to any kind of mainstream prominence because you don't know how to play this game. You don't know how to play the politics game, bro. You suck. You suck at your job. Because of what I was saying earlier, like your words, you're not reading the room, bro. You're not reading it correctly. Okay, you are fucking up. Left and right. You are making shit takes after shit takes. Your audience is noticing. And you backpedal. You backpedal. I just reacted. I'm pretty sure your last video, right? It was the Kristi Noem one, right? You were backpedaling. That's what that whole video was about. Okay? And don't get me wrong, your audience isn't gonna like hate you straight up for doing stuff like that. They're not gonna turn on you. But they are gonna notice it. Okay, they're gonna take note. It's going to cheapen the value of your content. And you're gonna keep fucking up in this way until your channel slowly drifts into the void because people stop watching you because they know you're a fucking phony and that you have no actual convictions. You just, you know, it's wherever the wind blows you. You know, if you had real convictions, right, then you would call this out for what it is, which is an unjustified murder of an innocent white woman. Okay, and you would probably be playing that angle, right? I'm trying to think, like, if I were you, I would make this about her whiteness, okay, and I would say, look, this state, they're even attacking white people now. Okay, that's what I would say. I would try to make it like a white people are under attack thing, okay, or something like that. But like, you are not reading the room correctly, man. This is not resonating with people. Like I said, this, you know, the bottom of the barrel, the bottom % range of IQ in your audience, they will eat this shit up. They will love this, okay? But like the more moderate ones, shit like this, they're really gonna take note of. Okay, do you understand? Like shit like this and shit like you backtracking and things like that, okay? They are going to notice this, you are going to lose followers because of this. Heed my warning.
Do not actually give a shit about them. If that's the way you want to go out,
reposition
then fine.
yourself.
If that's where you stand, then fine.
Doing?
You're not American. And the consensus that is growing in this country is one that is completely disgusted with the way things are being handled and with the way things are moving. And the only place this leads to...
It's just, you're doing this thing where you're playing into the delusions of others. And I think that this is because you genuinely hold, like, racist... The foundation of your ideology is one of racism, of race realism and superiority. Okay, that's what your ideology is all about, I think. Okay, and you are playing into this because it's what you believe. Okay, and you think that it's good because the most vocal, the most extreme members of your audience are cheering you on. Okay, but what you actually need to be doing is you need to push the envelope. You need to push the moderate envelope. Okay, if you want to get more viewers, if you want to reach more people, okay, you need to take a more moderate stance on various political issues. This is commonly referred to as heel turning. Okay, switch your vibe. Okay, be a little woke. Okay, be woke, but in a trad based kind of way. Okay, do you understand? That's what you need to be doing. Okay, I'm giving the game away for you. I'm helping you. Okay, I'm actually hoping that you won't listen to me and you will fall into obscurity. Okay, because that's what's going to happen if you keep doing this. But at the same time, if you do what I'm saying, then, you'll be pushing your audience in a slightly more moderate direction, which, I would like that. I would prefer that over what you're doing here.
The government is unwilling to enforce their own laws, and they are capable of doing it, but they're not willing to do it. That's where we're at. If that's the way they're just going to keep doing things, eventually the people are going to start enforcing the law. Eventually the people are going to say, you know what, fuck the government, fuck these people, they won't even protect us. In fact, they actually fuck us over all the time. Fuck them, we don't care, we're going to start doing shit on our own terms. And the day that happens, that's the final line. Like, that is the last line. We've crossed so many lines that we cannot go back to. That is the final one. That's the only line that's left that is in the sand that we haven't crossed into yet, but when we do, congratulations, you don't have a country anymore. You have civil unrest, you have civil war, you have chaos, you do get disorder on a level you have never been able to comprehend in this country, and there's no going back from that. And I don't know, I can be complaining about this for hours, and I basically have at this point, so I'm going to end it here. But you guys have the same feeling I do. You know where this is headed. You know it's not good. You know this cannot continue. There's so many problems, there's so many issues, but if we can't enforce the basic laws, and it's not like a majority of people are actually against this, to be honest. A majority of them wanted this. They want immigration to be enforced. They want people to go back home. Do we want to do it in a violent way? Some people do. Every day, more and more people actually would.
No, it is always violent. It is always violent. I don't even, like, my only response to this is, what is a non-violent deportation? If you say, if it exists, okay, if there is such a thing as it, what does it look like? Because from my perspective, deportation is an inherently violent process from beginning to end, all the way through. There is nothing in the deportation process that isn't violent. Okay, literally. Okay, right down from the initial arrest to the torture in the death camps. Okay, it's all violent. All of that is violent.
I prefer that.
And everything in between.
But that's the thing, is it doesn't matter what we want. That's where things are getting pushed to. And it seems to be a joke for everybody. It's just something that there is no recovery from. Some would say, well, we're already past that. It's too late already. You might actually be right. But who knows? This year is going to be fucking insane. But I'm going to end it there. What do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Like, what is your whole takeaway from this situation?
I disagree. I think you're stupid. Yep.